talking first?
Lance, what's up? Hey, Lance, we have this webinar on the value in value stream management. And so this is going to be a different kind of webinar. We don't have 30 slides to show. It's just going to be you and me chatting about this. We both have perspectives. In some places we're aligned. In some places we've got differing opinions. So maybe we'll have a little bit of a debate. It's set up as a webinar so people can listen in. I'm sure there's probably a Q&A panel, but I'm not sure if we may be in such heated discussion and argument that we might not be able to get to the Q&A. If somebody wants to ask questions there, we have another colleague in the background who might be able to answer some of the questions. Maybe some of them we'll be able to get to afterwards, but we'll see how this goes.
Well, great, Andrew. This is going to be a lot of fun, I think. You and I always have a lot of great discussions and difference of opinions on value streams. I come from it from the operational perspective in my time with IT and manufacturing, and you kind of come more from the software delivery and agile development point of view. So let's see where our discussion takes us. I know we've talked a lot about this in the past, so let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so I think we should start out with defining what this is anyway, this value stream management. What is it? And rather than try to give some kind of definition, maybe just describe it by, I think it's this human stuff, this observing the value stream, observing your process and thinking about it and reasoning about it and managing and improving the flow of work through the value stream. It's not a tool. That's how I would describe what this thing is of value stream management.
So value stream is an age-old thing that's been around for a while, right? And understanding how to develop and put together value streams is interesting too when we talk about that from a tool perspective. But every organization has a value stream.
Meaning,
if it's a process, there's a value stream. They use systems thinking to do it. It's the way information flows. It's the way products flow through the organization that brings value to the customer, whatever that value is. Now, to me, value stream management is a process of looking at that value stream and figuring out how you can improve it and use systems thinking and lean principles to do that. It is a human endeavor. No tool is going to go out there and say, do this and your value stream is going to be better. But the tools can give you information to do that. But it is a human endeavor. It is something that humans have to go do. And I remember us talking about that and coming up with that tag about value stream management. It's human, right? And it's really interesting as you start to look at how things flow. And I'll be bold and say, and you can agree or not, but mostly I think you're going to right now, every company that develops, builds, creates, or does anything has a value stream in their organization.
Yes, absolutely. I would say they have many. There are many value streams and there are many perspectives on the value stream. And it's managed by many different people from many different, at many different levels with many different boundaries of scope. And it's a complex and complicated endeavor to be trivialized or mechanized.
And then you define the customer in each one of those too, right? I mean, it's interesting when you read the books, the traditional books that say value streams about the customer. Right? It is. It's about bringing value to the customer. But you got to define the customer. The customer can be so many different things in a value stream. When I worked in manufacturing, we would improve how flow through a value stream on a product line. That customer typically was our materials manager or the general manager, where he wanted to be more efficient. And the efficiencies of that didn't go back to the customer and cost saving. It went back to the business and profit savings. So who's the customer is a great definition of that time as well.
So you're saying that it's okay to have internal customers?
Oh, absolutely. And most of the time it is.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just to quote David Anderson's Kanban method book, one of the steps is to get explicit with your upstream and downstream partners or customers about the classes of service and working agreements, and entry and exit criteria, acceptance criteria, if you will, within all of those states. And that is part of managing your value stream, is uh, having explicit agreements with your customers.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And so I think if you do an exercise, and I've done some value stream optimization exercises, it's interesting that, the people who are telling me what they want to get out of those exercises aren't like direct customers. Normally, it's somebody says, I want to reduce waste and cost. I want to improve time to market, reduce my defects. And that's why we want to do this value stream optimization exercise. Net customer is never really that so-called who the customer is, right? It's usually internal stakeholders and so on.
So you hit there on the topic of our webinar, and it is the value from value stream management. Let's just clarify, just in case anybody listening is missing this point. We're not talking about the value from the value stream. We're talking about the value from managing your value stream. And you hit on some things. And although we don't have a lot of slides, I did prepare a couple on this topic. And let's just put that one up. So yeah, so here's my first stab at this is what I think of when I think of the value that you would get out of effectively managing your value stream. It's predictability, it's throughput, time to market, it's less feature waste, building stuff that doesn't matter, improving your team structure, insight into how the work is actually getting done, classes of service, controlling your work in process, less delays, fewer blockers, and things like that. What do you think of this? What is your list of stuff of the value that comes from managing your value stream?
Well, I think it's all of these here, absolutely. But my take would be, depending upon who you are in an organization, these things are going to be different, right? So if I'm a CIO or I'm a VP, I'm interested in predictability. I'm interested in improving flow. I'm interested in time to market. And as you kind of look at different layers of that organization, the business value or the value of value stream management gets more tactical and kind of flows down as well, right? So, for example, better prioritization, those things might be at a just a level below of what you're working on to get it on. I think the other value of value stream management that isn't here is visibility, to be and see where things are going through your value stream, and also to see, dependencies and blockers and all the stuff like that you have in here. All this is about value stream management. So the only thing I would do is kind of understand how this fit within the tier, and then maybe get a more tactical for some of the more lower levels. But having a predictable value stream is really important.
Well, so you mentioned tiers, and we've talked about this before, is that and we've already alluded to it today, is that there's multiple value streams and multiple perspectives. And one of the things that I've seen a lot is that there's kind of two camps. There's the process camp, the agile management, safe, scaling agile camp, and deciding what needs to be built. And then there's the more DevOps camp, which seems to be about tooling and all the automated value stream of the artifacts rolling through the system. And you've drawn this picture and kind of illustrated those two distinct things of focus. So can you talk us through this? What's your point with this diagram?
So this is actually an interesting diagram. And Andrew, we've talked about this for a while. So I'm going to draw back to my time at manufacturing. When I worked for a company, we made airplane parts and airplane engine foils and so on. When a product came in the door, or a product went out the door, the materials came in one side, it went through a process and went back out. The materials manager would come and he'd put the work item down on top of that, and that would travel through that with that part linear, and it would go all the way through. So when we started talking about value streams, we kind of realized, you and I came to this together, that everybody's really focused on the process of automating the last stages of this when we talk about value stream. And I'm of the opinion now that the process that takes the longest is really portfolio, program, the planning section, right? I mean, right now today, a lot of the repos are already hooked up to the build things, and the build things are already hooked up to the test things and the release and monitoring. We're really taking a big step from a business perspective and from a company, from a product. We're taking a big step from a central focus perspective, or a space where we work in perspective. Everybody's really got that down. That flow is better, where build goes to test and release and monitor, and it's getting automated through the tools really quickly. But what they're not looking at are the feedback loops, how long it takes to get stuff into that, the planning cycles and horizons, how the sizes are different as things go into that value stream. So from your code repository to your build tools to your test tools to release and monitoring, some of the things people are saying is that can get done where I'm releasing every minute. But my perspective is that if I don't have something to release every minute, why does that matter? So if we start to look at these two value streams of how the work artifact flows, which would be the top, and how code and the production and what you're building flows at the bottom, and then start to look at how they all talk together throughout that whole process, there are just lots of areas for improvement as product flows. So at ConnectALL, really, we're talking about the whole thing, not just talking about how I can go from build, test, release, and monitor quicker. How can we help make decisions better too? I fumbled on some of my words, but I think you got the message.
Yeah, well, let me pick on your words a little bit. You said that everybody's got this DevOps thing, the automating of the build and the CI and the CD. Everybody hasn't got it. A lot of companies are still struggling with that. But I think what I would say is that it's a problem that's been solved in a way. We've got the technology. We know how to do it. We know how to talk about the DevOps culture. It's solvable, perhaps, in companies who haven't licked it yet. And it's to the point now where for, I guess, to oversimplify the industry, we can say our industry is at a point, our technology is at a point where we can't, where we're able in many cases to eliminate the big delays from build to deployment. And now we need to turn our focus back on the delays in that upper class of value streams, the upfront work, the planning work, the delays between teams where one team has done their work or they're blocked waiting on another team. That dependency management, dependencies kill agile, and dealing with all of that is still a problem that the industry is struggling with, and because it's the more human side of things, it can't be coded and automated as we can with the DevOps pipeline. And so we need to not lose that focus.
Yeah, I'm reminded of when I talked about a while ago about how tooling isn't solving the problem. So if you take that DevOps pipeline that we're talking about, that DevOps value stream, where it's from build, test, deploy, and we're automating the heck out of that, that can be solved with tools. But people aren't getting the value out of those tools like they projected because they're not looking at the front end of that planning cycle too.
Can you expound on that?
Sure. So we did a demo a while back, make it lasting journey to the center of your universe, right? We checked code out of Maven, made a little change.
Sure.
We saw that get built. We saw the test happen. All that happened automatically, moved the code all the way through, all through automation. Now that's great. That was a little demo, showed all that animation, right? Automation. But what does that matter if I'm
Yes,
not got something to deploy every minute? So
that's right.
all that's being taken care of. But the culture of getting stuff delivered and built quicker doesn't matter. It does matter. Sorry. So it's that's what I mean by that's kind of been taken care of. You with those tools, they can automate that. But can they automate the culture of when you move stuff into production? Can they automate all the pieces that require the humans to make decisions if things move through?
Right. So an organization wants to pay attention to build the right thing, build it right, and build
Mhm.
it fast. They need to pay attention to all three of those things and iterate through them and evaluate their organization, which brings us back to value stream management, or managing your value stream, is paying attention to your organization and your process and
Mhm.
deciding which one of those three things you're lacking on the most and where you can get the biggest bang for the buck with your improvement.
Yes, and that requires a value stream optimization type of program where you look from end to end what's going on, how work intake happens. It gets broken down through portfolio, program, development, build, and deploy, how the communication happens and flows between all the pieces of your organization, and look for places to remove waste. And it's been our perspective, and we both agree that that method, that process of doing that is a human endeavor. And then you can take tools and you can apply them to remove waste, tools like ours, of course, right? Or to automate, to move things through the pipeline a little quicker, to give me better visibility. But to the point till a human takes a look at that, you're not going to know exactly what to do with it until you've analyzed it. And most value streams have grown organically without any thoughts of this, right? Now you go to manufacturing now, value streams aren't this organic thing. It's planned how you're going to make that solution or that product coming out the door. So you have to go look at your value stream, map it out, plan the present state, and then move forward to the future state by doing a good analysis of what's going on when you're going to try to improve in your value stream. And, based upon what's going on today and with the need to be digital transformed, as we're all working from home, and I'd like to say right now that I hope everybody is blessed as we are as we're working from home. And anybody who's sick, I have great empathy for you all, and ConnectALL, we're pretty fortunate. We count our blessings every day that we all were already remote. But companies have to get to that point now, as we're socially isolating, where their digital transformation needs to take hold, and improving your value stream, being able to deliver more features, capabilities quicker, is a big key part of that. As everybody's getting stuff delivered, ordering online, and all of that. So everybody's got to go through the same transformation that banks have gone through to deliver value to their customer through their new front portal, which is your phone, your computer. That's how you're getting stuff done today, not interacting with humans, which is somewhat sad to me. I like to interact with humans, but management of it is human. So anyway, that was a long-winded way to say something, but let's bring the conversation back to it's human.
Yeah, so definitely this is certainly a test or a trial for a lot of companies, an experiment to work differently, and it would seem obvious to me that it would be a opportune time to reevaluate your value stream, and can you be as efficient with new ways of working, and with the different economy and more remote work, and perhaps even make some hypotheses and actually do some intentional testing to see if there's something that can be learned to either continue with the remote work, or to bring it back when things return to normal and we can get back into the office. There may be some lessons learned about the way your value stream works that you may want to continue.
It accelerates the need to get your company through a digital transformation if you're not already well down the road of that.
Well, I want to go back to something you said. It said, it sounded to me like you were bringing your manufacturing stuff in. You got to plan this. It's command and control. It's you can get out your value stream map, and you can do systems thinking, and you can think about exactly how it's supposed to work and tell people what to do. Is that what you mean?
Absolutely. No, of course not. It is that command and control. It is what I grew up in manufacturing software delivery and development, where, hey, I've mapped this out. You're going to follow my methods and process. But it's not really that. It's just looking at ways to improve through that. And unless I become a collaborator instead of an enforcer, or there, I had another word for that in the past I've used, where I'm going to help you achieve those goals by improving value stream and delivery. Look at your organization and not say you must do it this way, but say, hey, maybe this team should be doing waterfall. Oh, I said it, waterfall. Sorry, Andrew. Maybe this team should be waterfall, or maybe this team should be
Waterfall,
or Kanban or Scrum, and design your software delivery process so it's effective. Not every method and process fits for every team, but if you look at it, you can understand how you can affect change in your organization, deliver software better so that your customers can get to ordering your goods and services in this digital transformation time.
So I certainly agree that for a larger organization, it's not going to, you mentioned organic growth or happenstance growth of your value stream. That will happen, but to achieve your goals, someone has to take charge of it, evaluate it, and map it out. Yeah, I'll grant you that, and come up with a hypothesis is the concept I'd like to bring into this. Experiments to design to prove or disprove some hypotheses about how the organization ought to be structured, or how work ought to be prioritized, or how it ought to flow, so that you can achieve the kind of outcomes that you want out of your value stream. So I agree with you that there needs to be some kind of a planning step there.
Well, I know we disagree here. I think there should be a person in software delivery in these companies called a value stream manager. And I don't disagree with that. Improving your value stream, no matter where you are in an organization, is part of the whole company. But somebody's got to facilitate and own that method and that process, and actually have the meetings, discuss continuous improvement. Because what happens is people get stuck in their day-to-day and how they're doing things, and so improvement doesn't happen.
Well, what scares me about that is the title or the identification of that person. I agree that somebody's got to own the value stream, own managing the value stream at every level. There needs to be multiple people, and there has to be somebody at the top, near the top, setting some goals. And but I think the danger is that if you give the title value stream manager and you put that label on somebody in the organization, everybody else goes, oh, thank goodness, I don't have to worry about that anymore. That's Fred's job. Fred's the value stream manager. It's not my responsibility. Whereas we need to have sorry for putting David Anderson again, but we need intentional acts of leadership at every level in the organization. And so I'm going to go back to the screen share and share one last slide, is that I want to make a distinction between value stream management and value stream leadership. There's policies and procedures and control, and we got to do this management stuff on the left. We have to organize staff and teams, and we got to design how we want things to work. But I think that just to make the point that how big this is and how human it is, I think that we need to focus on the leadership aspect of value stream, the influencing your organization and inspiring them towards some kind of a vision that you have for the outcomes that you want out of your process, the vision for improvements to your flow efficiency, and use things like A3 thinking and the Toyota Kata and coaching Kata, and direction setting and get multiple people involved in a cooperative process or cooperating in the process improvement. So that's the what I think the distinction is between your command and control stuff and my inspire and enroll.
Yeah, so I agree with that. I reject the fact that you say I'm the command and control guy here at ConnectALL, because I feel I'm inspiring, but I get the metaphor by bringing those two together, right? Where, I think I think you're absolutely right. I think companies need value stream leaders more than they do managers. So I want us to go to questions now, because we got about 5 minutes, but I want us both to say vehemently, because I know you agree that I can't speak today. I know that we agree about this, and that is value stream management. It's human. It's definitely a human thing to do.
Okay, well, I can't argue with that because I may have come up with it. Because I was inspired. I'll give you credit for inspiring me to.
Right.
So we came
up here. We haven't talked about ConnectALL that much and what ConnectALL can do, right? We're a value stream management solution, and we can help automate. But let's all understand that it takes a human who's been through all those training, who has studied lean principle, that kind of understands some of the stuff, that can go optimize your value stream. And to me, that's that part where you talked about value stream management leadership, and it's all human.
Okay, so who is this human? There is a question that came in. Who do you see in that role? The role of value stream manager. Who is that? Is that the COO or is that?
Well, I think what do you think? I think that the value stream leader has to be the just below the COO. Somebody who's in charge of a line and they're leading and make sure they're inspiring and empowering it. I kind of see someone being a value stream manager, a director level kind of delivery. Someone's going to communicate, try to figure out how to improve. It's got to be somebody with enough provenance in an organization to affect change.
What kind of skill does that kind of person need to have? And is this not the same thing as there used to be a role, process improvement role of some sort that we had in the 80s or 90s, right?
Well, you can look at Six Sigma, where you had green belts, black belts, and process improvement guys. And you can go all that way as well, but it's got to be somebody in the team or in that piece of the organization as well. Because, you can have a consultant come in and they can really help greatly. And we offer a service like that, but he has to work with the people in the team. And if you bring somebody from headquarters in to come and make all that happen, I've seen it not work in the right way, because you have to have the relationships a little bit to do the investigation. People don't like it when people from the outside come. Now, consultants are a little different, but
you just made my point, is that I think that every organizational unit probably needs their own with a good rapport with that organizational unit, but you probably need somebody at the corporate level as well to set some goals or give some direction to the individual organizational unit value stream managers, and to create a communication path so everybody can be pulling in the same direction.
Yeah. So I like this. There's a question that just came up there about value stream management human. Does that mean it can't be automated? It can't be automated. So no, it can't be automated. A value stream manager in value stream management has to be a human that goes out and looks at it. They're managing the value stream. And what they uncover for improvement, that can be automated. But to really manage a value stream from work intake all the way through, all the pieces can be automated. And ConnectALL has a tool that does the automation, right? Just to get a ConnectALL plug in there.
Yeah.
Right. But no, it takes a human to look at that. Systems aren't smart enough to say, oh, this took 20 minutes. I'm going to automatically integrate these things. The development of software is human still.
You're right. So I don't think I have anything else to add to that. Some reporting and analytics can be automated. Some governance can be automated. Some all kinds of DevOps stuff can be automated. But what we say management is this thinking about your flow and deciding what you need to do about it. And I know we're out of time, but I'll take this last one more question.
Yeah.
Is value differs by company, and how do you decide what the value you need to go after is? And I think that's a human thing. You have to observe your organization and your flow, and you have to think about, are you happy with it? And if not, make a hypothesis about what to do about it.
This other question's pretty good too, right? VSM may be human. I'll go ahead and read that.
Yeah. But isn't there a prerequisite focused around measurement that is needed to facilitate the management? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
However, doesn't addressing measurement holistically require senior stakeholder support, which may suggest a top-down effort to initiate value stream management?
Yes.
Completely.
And there's tools to do and capture the information and do the measurement, but it takes the human to interpret them.
That's right.
Well, Andrew, this has been a great discussion again, and I really appreciate some of these great questions on the side. I apologize for fumbling on some of my words, but you do that to me, you make me nervous because, that's how you are, my friend.
Yeah, well, I try. That was fun. Lance, I hope everybody else enjoyed it as well. This is going to be recorded and will be available afterwards. Thanks, Lance. That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, have a good afternoon. Bye.
Bye, everybody.